Hey everybody, welcome back to our Let's Play of Dwarf Fortress Cobaltempire. Yes, we are the Empire on the Sea. And yeah, things are going pretty well so far. We've got everything rolling, everything's set into motion. We've got some workshops going. We're probably about to start digging down to try to find our cavern lair so that we can maybe get a well set up. I don't know. That might be a little premature. I mean, after all, it is only April. Our time might be better spent doing other things, but really, I guess it just kind of depends on what we need to do. I mean, you know, if nothing's going on, then sure, why don't we just go ahead and start digging so that we can get down there and check it out. Alright, so a few of you have accepted my open invitation to have dwarfs named after you. Thank you so much. I love it. I love naming dwarfs after people. Like I said, it really kind of, for me, and I'm figuring for you guys too, it's a lot more enjoyable when the dwarves actually have names attached to them, and especially, you know, you like to see what your dwarf ends up doing, so... some of you put some stipulations on what you would prefer, and I plan on honoring those stipulations, even if it's a situation where we can't get you in right now. We'll just wait until the next available dwarf comes in with that set of attributes. So, alright, let's switch over to Dwarf Therapist and see who we can get named. Well, we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4 named, so remaining we have 2 guys and a gal. And let's see, I've got Yuri, no preference whatsoever. So we're going to go Yuri. Yuri does, to me, does kind of sound like maybe it could be a female name. So I think we're going to make, this is our Yuri. Very good. And we have a Kishi. So we'll just make this Kishi. And we have a Difio, or Difio, or Difio. I'm going to say Difio. And the only preference that this person gave me was they preferred to be male. So, your request is granted, all of you. I do have one other person who did request to be in. And they also requested to be a soldier. So we're going to put them in as soon as we figure out who's going to be in our militia, and that person will get a name then. So don't worry, Tragan will be in the game within a year. So, all right, let's switch back over to the game. And it looks like we just maybe cut some wood. We've still got some things up here that need to be hauled down. I believe we set up a custom stockpile for this stuff. I can see that some things have already made their way over to our garbage dump / refuse stockpile, which is awesome. Why? There's every Dwarf Fortress game I've ever played. It doesn't matter what the biome is. We always end up with 2-legged rhino lizard remains. I don't know why. But that does remind me, something we need to do is, let's go ahead and go down to our food stockpile here. And I want to set up a zone. That's not the key for setting up zones. I want to set up a zone around our food stockpile. Which I guess we should make sure. That's the still, so this is the food stockpile. Let's set up a zone around the food stockpile. And basically we're just going to pasture our cat on the food stockpile to keep the vermin down. So we'll go, no, not pit and pond, pen and pasture, and we're going to assign the cat there. And the cat will just basically stay there, and, well, hopefully will stay there, and will kill vermin. I guess we can go ahead and set the game in motion while we kind of, you know, BS a little bit. So it looks like we've got our Mason's Workshop. Nothing's really going on right now. We could go ahead and, yeah, let's go ahead and make a task here in our manager screen. Let's queue up some tables, rock tables. These are going to go in our meeting area. So let's just start it out with 6. That's a pretty safe number. And then rock throne, 6. Very good. And we could probably go ahead and say, go ahead and make some rock doors. And we can probably go up to 20 on this. Let's see, what about here? What's going on here? Make rock mug, very good. This guy's, Mac is cutting some gems, excellent. Carpenter's workshop, not much is going on right now. I'm thinking, let's go ahead and set up to get some bins made. We want some wooden bins. I want you to make me 5 more wooden bins. Another workshop that we're going to need to get set up pretty quickly is going to be a mechanics workshop, especially if we're going to be setting up a well. I'm pretty sure we're going to need like levers to set up the well, so I could be wrong. It has been a few Let's Plays, or actually just a few playthroughs since I've had to set up a well. I haven't done it in any of my Let's Plays. If you guys have watched it, it just hasn't been necessary. But really, building a well is a good idea, regardless if your fortress has fresh water already. Simply because if for some reason, like you're under a siege and you can't get outside to the fresh water and you have injuries, you're going to need that well to get that fresh water to those people. So let's go ahead and go into planning mode on our doors here. And since we've got such a large number of doors, but I think we have a relatively small stockpile space, let's go ahead and lay down some doors in our planning mode, so that, you know, later on in the game we don't just get inundated with needing to put doors in all these places. And what about down here? Do we need some doors down here? Well, of course we do. We need doors. The reason that we put doors on the workshops is because, and, you know, most of you probably already know this, but if you don't feel bad. Dwarves can sometimes get moods, and what that means is that they will get either possessed, or they'll get some kind of a weird affliction type thing where they have an idea, they're inspired to create something, and if you can't manage to get them the materials that they want, they will go crazy. And a variety of things can happen. Most notably, the worst of, well, actually, it's bad regardless of what happens, because regardless of what happens to them when they go crazy, they will inevitably die. But probably, I would say the worst thing that could happen is the dwarf in question could go berserk. And what is this? Swarm of acorn flies. Maybe we should widen out our pasture to include this. I don't know. Anyways, they'll go berserk and they will start attacking any dwarfs that are around them. So what you want to do is you want the dwarf to be locked into that room, and then you just, unfortunately, you let them starve to death. So this stuff is still sitting out here, but it does look like it's coming into our custom stockpile gradually. How about our wooden stockpile here? Okay, stuff is going into that. Very good. Did we build a trade depot? Did we build a trade depot? Okay, we did. All right, very good. Looks like our farmland is in and has been planted. Well done, sirs. Wooden bins are done. Good job, good job. Rock mugs. He probably came off the rock mugs to verify those management jobs, because I think our stonecrafter is also our manager. So, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Is somebody doing it? Yeah, nobody's doing it right now. It's probably not one of the miners. It's probably the manager, I'd imagine. So, probably not a bad idea for us to go ahead. Yeah, since we made this mechanics workshop use stone. So let's make a stone stockpile around it. And we're going to change the settings. We don't want metal ore to be in here. We don't want, well, I mean, assuming we find any, we wouldn't want bituminous colored lignite. That would be like a big travesty to make some mechanisms out of bituminous coal. And we don't want clay. Everything else is fine. And eventually we're going to set this this stockpile here, this stone stockpile, to feed this. But for right now, we're just going to have it set you know, not to give to this because we want this workshop to be able to take stone from anywhere if there's nothing in this stone stockpile. Divio, congratulations, you're now a mason. Okay, so we also need to make a stockpile for mechanisms, which I believe is under furniture storage. So let's come over here, and it doesn't need to be too big. You're never really going to have too many mechanisms floating around, or you shouldn't probably in your fortress, unless you're making mechanisms as a trade good, which is something some people do advocate. They say that you can do good with that. I've never tried it personally, but I'd imagine it's doable, you know, because your mechanics workshop, especially early on, doesn't really do a whole lot except for make mechanisms. So it's not a bad idea to crank them out, because you need mechanisms for other things anyway, such as, you know, making, you know, levers for drawbridges and stuff like that. Speaking of which, it'd probably be a pretty smashing idea for us to go ahead and get a drawbridge up and going. So let's build a bridge, and we're gonna just do something like this. Very, very simple. We're gonna put it right here. Right now it's set to retract. We don't want that. We want it to raise towards the bottom of the screen. So we're going to hit X. And now whenever we raise the bridge, it'll come up towards the bottom. Whenever we let it down, it will go towards the ocean. So it's kind of hard to tell whenever you only do like a one-tile bridge like this, but it's very easy to tell if you make them a little bit bigger. All right, so we're going to put a bridge right there, and we'll make it out of, not out of coke, that would be bad, chert. So we'll do that, and we're also going to want to put a lever in here eventually. And, you know, you want your lever to be in a place where lots of people are going to be constantly around it, which right now it's not really that way because our fortress isn't very populated, but eventually it will be. Let's go ahead and go into planning mode and lay down our tables and chairs. So how do we want to get this set up? I really don't know. We could do, you know, just something in the middle of the room here. You know, really it doesn't matter too awful much, but it's really just an aesthetic preference. And then our chairs. Excellent. So once those are done being made, they'll get brought into that place, and we can go ahead and get it set up as a dining room / meeting hall. Yay, a masterpiece chert door. Good job, Diffio. Tables look like they're done. I'm a bit concerned here as to what's going on with the rock mugs. I'm a bit concerned. Let's pause and switch scenes. Let's look at Dwarf Therapist and see who our Stonecrafter is. Stonecrafter is Diffio. This is a problem because Diffio is also our Mason. That's not really what I wanted, but that's kind of what happens sometimes whenever you have auto labor on. People that you want to do things don't always get assigned to it, and they get caught up doing other things. The reason this won't do is because we need as many mugs as we can before the caravan comes in to be made. So let's try unenabling stonecrafting off of Diffio here. And I think a much better person to put it on would be Tinister. Now we'll see if the game sticks with that or not. It may very well not, with auto labor being on. Yeah, he's storing item in barrel right now. See, if we go back, we hit space, and we go back to Dwarf Therapist. Yeah, it's back on. Turned it back on. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But it's also strange because this person also has all of the hauling enabled, and nobody else has any hauling enabled, which is very weird. You know, sometimes I turn off auto labor at the start of the game. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. I don't know. It'll get done. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's only got 16 more doors left to go. Okay, it looks like our gems are done. We can clear that out. I'm not going to re-up on the gem creation just yet. I don't think we've really found many more. What's everybody doing? What's everybody doing? Planting seeds, constructing rock door. We got 3 on break, constructing a building. That reminds me, we need to get a butcher's workshop set up. So, the thing is, normally I like to put my butcher's workshop on like the first level. And then I just carve some fortification to the outside so that it ventilates all the miasma. But with this being sand, you can't carve fortification into it. So we're just going to put it up top up here. So probably like right over here next to this stockpile. But the thing is, a lot of the stuff from this butcher is not actually going to hit this stockpile. We're going to make a separate refuse stockpile that's going to be for products from the butcher. Okay, but there probably won't be a lot of butchering that gets done right now. Just simply because we don't really have anything to butcher. And we're not hunting. So, and fishing doesn't factor into that. We're not hunting yet. We might hunt eventually. Maybe. We'll just go ahead and put it there. It doesn't really matter. Let's look at our units screen. Others, albatrosses. Well, that's fine. I think we did bring some rope for the dogs, I believe. Didn't we? Did we bring rope for the dogs? Let's see. That will be under restraint. If we have rope, we can put this down. Yes, we did. We brought 3 rope. 1 for the well and 2 for dog restraint. So what we're going to do, we're going to put... We could put it out here in front of the gate. I think I'm going to put it right there next to the trade. Actually, if we put that right there, I'm not sure that the caravan can path over it. Why don't we put it right here? Or maybe right here. That seems pretty good. Yeah. Alright, put that pigtail fiber rope there and put that there. And once that is done, we're going to assign 2 of the dogs to that. It'd be really nice if our dog would have some puppies. I would love to have some puppies so we could have some extra dogs floating around. We could get them trained up, have some war dogs. Oh yeah. War dogs are pretty nice. Let's go... So we brought 1 male and 2 females. Maybe we should just stick 1 dog down here so that we have a breeding pair roaming. We'll stick a female there for now. When we have more dogs, we can stick more. We can stick another one there. Not too bad. Not too big of a deal. Looks like this stuff is still getting brought up. How about in our pasture here? We've got our. We'll leave our dogs there for now. Until everything gets brought in. That way, you know, no stinking kobolds can come by and without, you know, they won't escape the notice of the dog. The dog will sniff them out. Sniff them right out. Are we making any mugs? No. Oh, it is active. Okay, so somebody is making mugs now. Who is it? Tenaster. See, if the game just would have listened to me, it would have worked out in the first place, but instead the game, you know, Auto Labor wanted to wrestle with me. Well, guess who won Auto Labor? It was you. You actually won. But in the war, I won through mind control or something. Okay. We suspended construction of the fishery, huh? Maybe because we don't really have a fisherman yet. We don't really have a fisherman yet. Actually, I think one of our people wanted to be a fisher person. So maybe we do have a fisher. Let me look. Just real quick. It's important to me that if you guys want to be a certain thing, I want you to be it. Oh, I think I see it. I think I see the comment in question. Kishi. Yep, it was Kishi. All right, so Kishi is going to be a fisher person, which is kind of hard to do with auto labor being on. And at this point, it actually looks like they assigned it to Diffio. We'll try to unassign it and put it on. Okay, so the one person's already showed up. Put it on Kishi. No, no, no. No, no, no. Oh, you dirty game. Whatever. Whatever. Maybe what we'll do is when these migrants come in, if any of them have fishing to a certain level, we might rename that person Kishi. Because Kishi did put in a specific request to be a fisher person. And I want to honor that request. Very important to me. Okay, okay, okay. So it looks like we're up to 10. So maybe we got 3, it looks like. All right, let's pause, take a look. Pause and take a look. All right, read dwarves. What do we got here? I guess one of them was a child. Well, that's kind of a bummer. So we got a male and a female. Are they together? Are they like a mated pair? Well, it looks like the game is going to favor putting fishing on this person, Captain Rule Cole. But I think what we might do is at some point we're going to get somebody that's going to have some fishing. So I'm going to clear the nickname off this person because I did initially forget that Kishi wanted to be in my notes. I wrote down notes for all you guys that wanted to be something, and it slipped my mind that until right when I was talking about fishing, you know, that that person wanted to be a fisher person. So we'll wait until somebody shows up with some fishing skill. The only reason that Diffio has any fishing skill is because I guess at some point we weren't cutting wood or masoning or stone crafting, and they were out fishing. So okay, yeah, so 2, you know, that's not too great. And this person is a clerk, very helpful. What about military? Any no military skill. They're both swimmers. Great. Wow. Game's not really helping us out too much, is it? Yeah, I mean, none of this is very helpful, but that's okay. We will thrive, I'm sure. Normally, that first migrant wave is not too big, anyways. I think it kind of your migrant waves kind of go off your generated wealth and the wealth of your fortress. And well, just to be honest, we haven't really generated a whole lot yet. All right. You might be asking, you know, why haven't you started digging down yet and exploring? Well, the main reason is I kind of want this stuff to get inside, and there's not much more left. If I start designating more things to do, things are not going to get brought inside. So I'm going to hold off until more stuff gets brought inside. Once all that stuff is off the surface, then we will start exploring a little bit more. Butcher's Workshop was built. Very good. Very good. What other workshops are we going to need in the near future? Looking through here, what do we need? Well, Bowyer's Workshop will eventually come into play, so will a leather worker and a clothier. If we start hunting, we'll need a tanner. Farmer's Workshop will be necessary before too long. Ashery, maybe. We'll definitely need some forges, but not right now. So I think we're okay on workshops just yet. The reason I was kind of looking at that was because I was thinking we might go ahead and dig out our next annex, our next workshop annex, but I think we might be okay to do a little exploration first. So they're hauling in the wood we cut. It should be going into this stockpile and these stockpiles down here, which kind of is. It's kind of getting there. Slowly. We could speed it up maybe if we made some wheelbarrows. All right. So we're going to want. We only need one workshop layer. We're probably. Let's see. How many can we do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, this is halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So maybe 14. We can do 14. We can probably get about 60-ish bedrooms on one floor here. So we're only probably going to need about 2 floors worth of bedrooms. Now, we are going to have some nobles bedrooms somewhere, but I don't think that'll be a problem. So we're going to do 2 floors of bedrooms, which means that we're going to start exploring maybe a little bit further down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to some up downstairs, and we'll start here. And I think we will go ahead and drop it down a few layers just straight on like a shaft, and then we're gonna branch off of it like you guys have seen me do before. And the main reason for that is safety. Things can go upstairs reasonably quickly, so we'll just mine down quite a bit, you know, and then we can put 2 walls and a door up there. I guess we could have choke pointed it ourselves. I mean, instead of having to make the walls. It's kind of a waste, isn't it? Pause it. Pause. All right, designate. We'll remove the designation right here. So this will be the choke point. Just like that. And then we'll put a door right there. We will door it. Looks like there's a... Whoa! What was that? Was that the dog? What was that dog chasing? Yeah, that was the dog. Oh, he's playing with the kid. Why is that kid? Oh, yeah, I know why the kid's in there. The kid's in there because we don't have a meeting hall yet. All right, we need to make this a dining room. So as you can see, because we don't have doors here, we don't have this, you know, defined, it's going to spill out into here if we go any further. So we'll stop that right there. That's fine. And we'll make it a meeting hall. Yeah, sure. And the kid will probably end up coming in here now, which is good. I don't want him outside. That's kind of a recipe for disaster. Really. A little bit more outside. I don't really care so much about the wood. I really just want to make sure that this stuff gets in. I mean, it's not a huge deal if a Kia, you know, swung by and said, "Hey, you don't need this." When really we do. So. Alright, I think that's a pretty good place for us to call this video good. So in our next video, we'll see exactly what we find, where the first cavern layer is. I'm sure it's not too far down, and also that will give us an idea of what kind of other metals we might have lurking about. So far we've found, what did we find? Cassiterite, and is that it so far? I think that's it, which cassiterite is... Oh, yeah, cassiterite. Cassiterite is kind of worthless. Why did I think we saw something? Oh, because we did. There's tetrahedrite right here. So there is some tetrahedrite too on these layers, which is not bad. And I think we talked about this, but cassiterite smelts down into tin. Tetrahedrite has a chance, 80% it'll become copper. 20% it will become silver. Silver is great for weapons, and we could just make armor out of the copper, but what we'll end up doing probably is we'll probably make the bronze alloy with it, because that's better. So, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Game on.